Hi.
Skylar.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Thanks for hanging with me on your off day.
Yes.
Let's go on in.
Come on, let's check it out.
All right.
Welcome in. Welcome to Jackson's Catfish Corner.
When I came here for a press conference, I was with NECA, and they were telling us of, women-owned places, minority-owned places, black-owned places, and they said, come to Jackson's to get some catfish, so
Glad you're here.
thank you for having us.
Yeah.
You a hot sauce girl?
I am not.
Gotta have a little hot sauce.
Man, I am so full.
Now we know we can add this to the list.
If you were to open a restaurant, what would you name it, and what kind of food would you serve?
Maybe Sky's Pies, and it'll be like desserts. Any investors that want to invest in Sky's Pies, we can do pizza or we can do like desserts, but I like that, playing off that name.
WNBA free agency contracts can be made official today, and the Seattle Storm wasting little time making a splash, signing veteran guard Skylar Diggins-Smith.
Why Seattle?
Seattle for a lot of reasons. First of all, Noe. Noah Quinn, to me, she's an underrated coach in our league.
Excellence is not a singular act, but a habit. You are what you do repeatedly.
I knew the caliber of people around me. I knew it was gonna be some black women around me, and I was gonna get coached hard.
Go that way, go that way. This side, Steph.
And so when I thought about who I wanted to play for, she was the top of that list.
We are what?
Dangerously disciplined!
Get it! 4, 1, 2, 3,
Basketball-wise, there's so much talent, just getting to come in and play with all that talent, with young talent and younger talent, I'm not gonna say old.
Are you calling yourself the V word yet?
Some veteran talent, and I think just getting to be in that space with some familiar faces too, and obviously NECA, I get to play with NECA, and I don't have a lot of friends in this league. NECA is probably the closest thing to that. Like when you get your classes and your best friend be like in your class, he's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And so just getting to spend time with her here, knowing, that's the on the court thing, we always.
Skylar Diggins-Smith, a nice hook pass and great cut off the ball by Nneka Ogwumike.
And then obviously getting to reunite with Jewel, her being here and just her commitment to this organization.
Yep, and then go, yep.
Going that fast. I ain't gonna tell her age now, but I met her when she was a teenager, and so to see it come full circle, I'm so proud of her and how she just rose in this league. We knew it was coming. She's won championships, and that's the type of people I wanted to rub elbows with.
5'9" guard from Notre Dame, Skylar Diggins-Smith.
And I don't really think it was any other place that, I would feel like I belong. Maybe try to fit into, as far as feeling like I belong somewhere. This organization is the one.
Take a look at this.
Skylar Diggins-Smith. Oh my God. Yes. It's giving Matrix.
The amount of times I send my stylist a picture of Skylar Diggins-Smith, she is literally my fit inspo.
Sky, I have to say, your fashion has evolved in such a beautiful way. How would you describe your style at this point in your life and how this version of Skylar has come together?
If I had to describe my style, 3 words, it would be what I like. What I like. I think it was just all about getting my closet together. And instead of buying outfits for occasion, started buying pieces and started seeing how silhouettes look on me and how I feel when I put the clothes on. Because it really is a look good, feel good, live good situation, play good, however you say. It makes me feel good, just getting dressed. I think that was a big thing too. I know I always say after I had my kids, but really with my body type, figuring out what clothes fit me, what clothes no, or just going through my closet. How you guys doing?
Take a look at this big trendsetter, take a flick.
But I also been with Christina Nigwe. She was my teammate when I was in Phoenix. She's been in the W. She's a hooper, but she's an extremely gifted, talented, extraordinary, all the words that you can use with clothing. This year, I guess if I'm sharing my secret or whatever, my baseline style would probably be business core meets futurism. A lot of things that you will see with the metallics, accessories, and just a silhouette of certain clothes. Also weaving in Puma pieces and different Puma collabs, and just trying to find some type of consistency with that kind of theme for this year, if you will. So it is like a kind of business core, strictly business. I'm here, I'm focused. I mean, you have to bring it. You know, the girlies are dressing too, and they look good. They look good. They look good. They're dressing, and so, but yeah, it makes me feel good about myself.
Well, you are still first team all league fit.
Well, thank you.
Skylar,
okay, I'll take it.
You are still first team in my book.
Okay, I don't have to windmill the air.
No,
you know. Okay.
Do none of that.
It's hard. It's hard now because
It looks effortless.
And you see, and I love it this year. People, more designers. Like I wore Loire, I wore Versace, and you see around the league people wearing Prada, people wearing Gucci, people wearing these different brands, but how they dressing it up, you know, I like it. Before, we just kind of looked like we was accountants.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We just looked like we was accountants, you know what I'm saying? Everybody had a little skirt situation, or you had a little cohort.
And y'all had all stopped by the department store on the way
by the same department store, had the same stylist. But now just seeing the range and people coming into their own, how they express themselves. I mean, that's what it's really all about, is singular expression, how you feel about yourself, what you want to look like. And so I like seeing the range of different styles in our league.
And this could be a landmark draft headlined by Brittany Griner, Elena Delle Donne, and Skylar Diggins.
Don't get me on until my hair makes.
We got three of the best at every position. They've been our 3 to see, and now people are excited to see how their game translates to the WNBA.
Get the ball rolling on WNBA thing.
With the first pick in the 2013 WNBA draft, the Phoenix Mercury select Brittany Griner. With the second pick, the Chicago Sky choose Elena Delle Donne. With the third pick, the Tulsa Shock select Skylar Diggins.
It feels like yesterday that you were coming out of Notre Dame, and we were celebrating the arrival in the WNBA of the 3 to see. All eyes were on that class.
Yes.
You guys brought so much attention to the WNBA. Fast forward to 2024 with this recent class and how they have been driving interest. Where do you see any similarities in what you experienced and what we're seeing happen in the game right now?
Yeah, I mean, I almost feel like it's apples to oranges, just like with the advancement of like technology and social media and now what it's used for, and just getting to see yourself align as more like a brand. And I didn't do NILs and all that stuff. So I think all that stuff matters now into how people see themselves, players view themselves as not just a basketball player. You know, you're a brand. So marketing, how are you gonna market yourself? You know, what do you wanna wear? What music do you listen to? The pop culture aspects that come into now, it's just way different than what it was. But I think now the accessibility to some of that information, the accessibility to some of those stories, it's just different. And so I'm happy to see it. You know, it's amazing to get to see the new fans that are coming into the league, what that means. And it's also a lot of nuances for me being gone. You know, I don't know if I just feel super old or whatever the case maybe is now.
Girl, no.
But you know, you just learning there's a lot of nuances to navigate into with this first year being like in the W. And so it does feel like a new WNBA.
With all that being said, though, you were the first WNBA player to have 1 million followers on Instagram. So you set the tone for a lot of this. What did that do for your career? What did that do for women's sports and what you started?
I was a business major. And so I was thinking about like my brand. I was in classes, strategy, building, marketing, all those things early in school. And so that is something I thought about, the image or how you're portrayed or aligning with certain brands, not aligning with certain things. You know, it's just something that I was mindful about. And luckily, at the time when I signed to Roc Nation, it really was no sports section. It was just myself, Robinson Cano, and then we were kind of embedded in that like entertainment kind of industry, things that I would go to. So I didn't play overseas. And so I was more domestic, you know, I was here. So I did take my time to like explore different marketing things. I was, like I said, here to be able to go to like Fashion Week stuff and, you know, just different events in pop culture that was kind of outside of where you would normally see like basketball players or what have you. Then you transition to like not having to be so people pleasing. And I was able to find like my security, like as a woman, not just a people pleasing, but am I pleasing myself? You know what I'm saying? And I think that authenticity that comes out, I think people respond better to authenticity and just being yourself, and people respect that.
Just because you are so strong and your presence is so powerful and you are always very intentional, I would have never thought that you had an issue with people pleasing.
I think a lot of people would be very surprised. I've struggled with anxiety. I've struggled with depression and other mental health things where, I would feel weak asking for help or, just anything. And I just think learning about myself, what makes me happy, what makes me unhappy, who makes me happy, and staying in that pocket, if you will. And it definitely has helped me tremendously. Even when I came to the team, like here, having a really candid moment with you right now, like, I was like, man, am I gonna be able to fit in socially with this team? Am I gonna sound like somebody's mom, because I'm a stay-at-home mom. I mean, every day I'm with my kids and working out, and then I'm with my kids, or whatever we're doing. I'm in mode. And so to come back after 21 months of being a stay-at-home mom, can I adapt to this environment again? Are they gonna think I'm weird? And I think just being real with myself about how I feel and how things make me feel, setting boundaries and, just saying, okay, no, you're not gonna control me. Like, no, that's not something that makes me feel comfy, and being honest about it. And so it's definitely not just an overnight thing. This is something that I came to in my 34 years, about to be Leo season, 34 years of like discovering, who are you? Who are you? And being okay with that answer.
When was the first time you realized that you needed help with your mental health?
Probably when I left college. Because with college, you just think, oh man, you got so much going on and your schedule is literally like, you don't have any control from start to finish. Like you're just always on the move. You're juggling a lot with classes, I had a boyfriend, so, I'm just saying it's just a lot. And then trying to win and be successful, try to win championships, just like all the pressure, the attention and things like that, especially after like my sophomore year, just like all the attention and things like that. And I was like, oh man, I kind of don't like this. How I'm feeling makes me feel a certain way. And I think I've always struggled with anxiety. I just think I didn't know what that was until I talked to somebody about how I was feeling. And like, oh, that's anxiety. I thought that was just Sky, And it's like, no, it is. You're not the only person feeling this way, but sometimes you hesitate to share it. Sometimes it's a little taboo in the Black community to be talking about certain things like that or to talk about therapy. It's like, go to church. Or talk to your parents, like certain things. And so I think just exploring every resource I needed to make me feel better. And it's not just one thing, I think other things, outlets and things to make me feel good, reading, writing, talking to people, getting out and about, fresh air, spending time, just things about not just getting so bogged down into, the things that make us feel burdensome.
What would you say to someone who is maybe struggling with anxiety or struggling with depression? What would you say to that person right now, having been over the hurdles and survived what you've survived?
Yeah, and they call them hurdles because you can get over them. And I think for me, especially with mental health and things like that, like you're not the only one that's struggling with postpartum, or you're not crazy for struggling with anxiety or depression. We all stress, we all go through bouts with those things. And it's more so about how you manage it and manage yourself and find ways, therapy, breathing techniques and exercises, listening ears and mentors and people that you look up to who maybe think like you, but to tell you the real, and just the support, like my mother, my husband, my very best friends, my support system, like lean into those things and just know like you're important, like you're supposed to be here. The best is yet to come for you, and read that again and say that again. I love you, you're important, you're supposed to be here. Those affirmations and things like that go a long way. And so it's not about having anxiety or having depression or having postpartum or struggling or having stress. It's how you manage those things and really understanding, like leaning into support systems. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and really just know, like, you survived all your hard days. Like, you're here for a reason. You know, those are things I said to myself. And, you know, calling the suicide prevention hotline, I've dialed that number before, you know? And so it's like, just know, like, you're not alone in these situations, but just being honest with yourself and caring about, okay, how do I feel inside? And make it the self-care, self-love, self-image, and how I see myself. That all starts with you and being able to look at the person in the mirror and live with that. And so it's definitely the most comfortable I felt in my skin, and it's not for nothing. I think everything is just aligning right now for me, and so I'm happy to be where I am.
A lot has happened since 3 to C, right?
Yes.
You have 2 children along that journey as well. So when you look back at 2013, first coming into the WNBA till now, what have you learned about Skylar?
For me, learning that progress is not linear. My preparation has always spoke for itself, and I've never really, because it wasn't just like a goal of mine to play in the W, like, it's a dream. And to me, the difference is goals, you know, you can make them up and they can change and things like that. A dream to me is embedded. Like, it was embedded to me that I wanted to play in this league. I wanted to thrive in this league. I wanted my kids to see me play in this league. And so, but getting to that point is not just gonna be like, oh, it's all good. Playing the best basketball for my ACL. So having to navigate that, and then your franchise moves from Tulsa, you get bought, you go to Dallas, go to expansion team, and navigating expansion. Because you have to start all over again. You know, I'm first team all WNBA, I'm pregnant with my son, you know? So you have to navigate what that is gonna be. I don't know, I'm scared. I'm not very confident about what this is gonna look like. It's no manual to this. Then we go into the pandemic. And so I take my son into the bubble. He's one of 7 or 8 kids in the bubble at the time. And so just trying to, new franchise, you're in the bubble, things don't really pan out how you thought it would pan out. Next year I got to play for a championship, you know? So it's like, you just never know, you know, in this league. But I think the most important thing is that I'm still here. I'm still here. And I see that, and it's a pride that comes with that. You know, when my son and daughter watch the game and they're pointing, and I see them, let's go Storm. And I could see them up in the suite sitting, and you know, it's like, they're my whys. This is why I wanted to do this. I figured it out, and I didn't know that until they were born. It kind of gave me a rejuvenation of like, I see why I'm breathing. What I would say in 2013 to the woman that got drafted, I would just like hold her face, and I would just be like, give yourself grace. Give yourself grace, you know? Because I think sometimes we want to get there, we see it, we almost there.
Quickly.
And the motivation runs out, and that's when you have to have discipline to be like, okay, nope, this is what I said I was gonna do. You know, I believe in myself. I know I can just keep taking steps towards it. Even if I don't attain it right now, taking steps towards it is gonna get me closer. And that was my approach to coming back into this league, where right now I don't feel like I've played the best basketball that I'm gonna play in a Seattle Storm jersey. But like everything else, you know, I've stuck with the process there. And when you're around this league long enough, 12 years, played 10, you see things, and then you get, okay, yep, I got this. I believe in this. I got the support system, the unconditional love when I go home every day. Mommy, you know, it's like, that's my why. And I think that's what keeps me going.
You expressed some things around how your pregnancy was handled that I think create an opportunity for teams and organizations to be better, and for the league also to be better.
Sure.
How so?
Sure, I think it is a lot of conversation around that, and obviously I'm just one piece of the mom pie. You know, all of our experiences are different. What I would love to see in the future of our league is a support. What would that look like for us if we had a support? Is it a people we call? Is it saying, okay, here are all the, you know, access to childcare, or pediatricians, or OBGYNs, or family planning, or babysitters, zoos, parks, kiddie events in your city, somebody you can call, mental health, you know, is it like a hub maybe? Now it's more moms in the league to be able to kind of talk to and bounce ideas off of. It's moms with multiples. And so it is. We do need to have bigger conversations where we bring in those people. I look forward to, you know, strategizing, us getting together, be it at the end of the season, or right after the season, or off season, to kind of come together and see, okay, how can we have one hub to go to, resources, what we need, what would that look like? Do you want that? You know, and just see how that conversation can like build legs, you know, from there.
When you reflect on Phoenix and that part of Skylar's life, what will that chapter of your book be called?
I guess the chapter would be titled, it just depends on when I title it, I guess. You know, I think that I'm so happy with everything that's happened to me in this league because it brought me to where I am today. And so I don't have any regrets. Like, I never took any plays off. I know every game that I was in, I played as hard as I could. I left it all on the floor. I know I was a professional. I know I have my dignity about myself. I know I was a great damn teammate. And maybe saying some of the hard stuff that people aren't used to hearing directly. Not saying that's always the best for the environment, but like certain things need to be said, and I definitely wasn't afraid to do it. Played with some all-time legends, got to play in the finals, and luckily I'm having another opportunity in this league to continue my legacy and what that'll be, and so it doesn't have to be the final chapter.
And what do you think the biggest misconception is of Skylar Diggins-Smith?
I know there are misconceptions out there of myself. And sometimes I'll be like, man, are they purposely trying to misunderstand me? You know? And so I've really just stopped caring about the misconceptions because no matter what I do, it's gonna be criticized. I stopped caring about if people like me when I realized, do I even like them or care about their opinion, or how does that affect me? And so now I just chalk it up to, I don't try to make people like understand who I am to the core. I just present my authentic self, and if that ain't your cup of tea, then that's 100% fine with me. I don't have any feelings about that. And so yes, I do know there's misconceptions that exist, but now that I'm secure as a woman, I don't feel the necessity to combat those things or to prove who I genuinely am, you know? And so that's just something that's came about, you know, just how I feel about myself as a woman and being okay with it if somebody else doesn't like it.
When it's all said and done, you've had great success between the lines. 6-time All-Star, 6-time All-WNBA teams. What would you attribute your success between the lines to?
My work ethic, my attitude. Not having an attitude, but having attitude, and how I relentlessly approach my dreams. Believing in yourself and having confidence. You don't thrive in this league if you don't have confidence. If your confidence wavers, you're not gonna be great in this league. And so just believing in myself, but really always keeping it about the basketball. Keeping it about the basketball, keeping it about my preparation, you know, my work ethic and stuff like that. Always about the basketball. They could never say like she wasn't professional or she took plays off, or, you know, if the environment wasn't competitive enough, I'm gonna light it up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's how we do things. So I think my character, that's all been instilled from my mother, just seeing her grind and having me when she was young, and just seeing her going through life, growing up with her, and just seeing her just grind it, you know, as a mom and just doing everything. And so it's embedded for sure. Gemini mom, Leo daughter, you know what I'm saying? But just never having to settle. My mom always demanded like excellence, whether it was in a classroom or wherever I am, just try to be the best version of Sky you could be.
Thank you for spending this time, and I love your beautiful new home in Seattle.
Thank you. I'm glad you came to visit. We got a new spot added to the list.
Yes.
I appreciate just the conversation.
Well, before you leave, though, we got one more thing that we promised Terrell we would do.
What we got?
I'll show you.
Let's go.
It'll be an honor for me.
Yes, you know I got it. You know I got it. Whoop, whoop.
Team Lefty, baby.
Yeah.
To the best catfish that I've ever had.
Oh, shit.
Damn that. Damn that. Thank you. I feel honored to be up there now.
Yeah, you on the Wall of Fame.